Hey guys, it's Dan back with, as always, yet another Doomtown Reloaded video for you. I'm sure you know that routine by now. So it's spoiler week, and what a week it's been so far. Some really cool stuff, and last week as well. It's Friday, so it's spoiler day, especially it's mine. Once again, massive thanks to AEG for handing over a spoiler for me. These are loads of fun to do, really quick videos to put together, which is always nice. It always gets loads more information out to you guys about the stuff that's coming up. First things first though, quick public service announcement. If you haven't noticed, there is a small issue with the Gomorrah Gazette forums at the moment. If you're having trouble logging on there, the guys do know and they're looking into it. It involves a string of letters that I don't understand in some technical combination that I don't understand. But there is an issue that's going to be tried to fixed, hopefully as soon as they can. So if you are having trouble accessing it, that is why. So, the reason you're here, spoiler time. Here she is. Yes, she. This is Jacqueline Isham. She is the King Drifter. I know a lot of people have been excited to see what the King Drifter does. There's lots of speculation about what it could be all the way since the core set when we saw different kings for the factions. Drifters work slightly differently. I'll take a moment for you guys to soak in the card. I'm sure that's why you're here. Once you've read it, you can go away and ignore the rest of the 5 minutes of this video. But for those of you who hang around, we'll discuss different things you can do and why she is what she is. So, King Drifter. Not the leader of a faction, but then Drifter isn't a faction. So they're not going to have a leader, specifically. So the king out of the Drifters is, I'd say, an important person to take note of, effectively. So yes, Nicodemus not the king, so people were wondering what it might be. When I spoiled the king teaser, back on Tuesday, obviously people were speculating it might be El Grajo, the guy mentioned on the Rapier spoiler, so sadly not him either. But this woman here is truly remarkable and definitely deserves this top spot. The ability is truly awesome. So she is a 3-cost, 0 upkeep, 2 bullet dude et. She's brilliant for those numbers. For those numbers, she's fantastic. So it's when you get down to what her ability does, which is really cool. And we'll come to that in a second. We'll start with the artwork. Yet more amazing art from Ricardo. He's putting out some fantastic stuff like Legal Instruments, Fancy New Hat, Freddy. All his work so far has been really good, and I'm looking forward to see what else we get from him in the future. And I'm hoping, if he's watching this, maybe he'll put something on Facebook for us, letting us know if we can get some mats with his gorgeous pictures on, like the young chap who does the outfits. That'd be quite nice for us. Anyway, the ability, which I talked about a second ago, being really good, because it is. So she's a 2-draw, which is okay by itself. You can do a lot of stuff with 2-draw, but pretty much it basically reads whenever she's in a defending posse in a shootout, she's a stud. Every single time, because it's a repeat. So when she joins a Mark's posse, or a posse opposing a job, she becomes a stud. So a posse joining opposing posse when she joins opposing a job. So Desolation Row, Kidnap. I mean the new one that spoiled, the Hanging. The very lethal job that's in the same pack as this. So she's kind of needed, I think, and I think she's come out at just the right time. So some decks fall over quite quickly to Kidnap, for example. If you're running like a high value, high cost huckster, like some experimental 4th ring decks that I was making and 2 other people who are making run Ivor Hawley, for example, and if Ivor gets kidnapped turn 1, it's pretty hard to come back from that if you don't have a decent huckster at the same time. And fitting in a second huckster with Ivor is kind of difficult because he's so expensive. However, fitting her in with Ivor is really good. So she'll jump in and become a 2-stud to help out Ivor. So there's a few things you can do with her. Primarily, one of my favourite things to do with her is give her a Peacemaker. So when she defends, she's a stud, and you can't take that off her. She's a stud, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, yeah, you can send her home with a pistol whip, for example, but you can't do anything with the bullets, and bullet reduction tends to be more prevalent in the meta at the moment than actual send home. So she's got more defence against that. Defending the job, so defending Des Row, want to go in against Desolation Road. Ideally, I'm a big fan of opposing the first Desolation Road job on turn 1. Desolation Road deck traditionally starts less cash, and therefore you want to stop that job, and you need a reliable way to do it. I've been using Wendy and pistol whips, but Jacqueline is also a very good option because, again, you can get her in there. She becomes a stud. She's actually quite a dangerous opponent for that job. They have to kind of overcommit slightly to make sure they can handle it. The other part of the ability, when she joins a mark's posse. So a mark isn't just the guy being targeted by a job. A mark is anybody that's called out. If anybody gets called out and accepts, they are the mark. So if she joins any defending posse, she becomes a stud. Extra cool point here, if she gets called out, she is the mark, so she joins her own posse, so she becomes a stud. So you can't turn her off. If you want to attack the player who has Jacqueline and she can get involved, she's going to be a stud, and there is nothing you can do about it. I mean, you can sun in your eyes, or you can bullet reduce, and you can do other bits and pieces if she hasn't got the aforementioned Peacemaker, but she does so much stuff for that cost. 3 cost. And because she's that king, because she's so awesome at that level, she's got 15 grit. You can't Soul Blast her. It's nuts. You can't shotgun her. Not in a million years. There's probably some really obscure 4-blood curse, stone idol weirdness you can do. But really, if you're going to go all that heavy in to kill 1 3 cost 0 upkeep guy, please play all those cards. So that's why she's the king. So she's not the leader, or she's not the head of the Drifters. However, she's somebody that a lot of people will turn to. She's got a lot of status in Doomtown. People are going to come to her. Look at that, the flavor text. Stand back, sir. I'll take care of this one. Because she will. She'll get in there and she'll beat face for you. And that's exactly what we want out of a high-value Drifter. An awesome ability we can use over and over again that's always going to see play. Because the only way this ability doesn't see play is you're not using her, so she's not in your deck, or your opponent's never calling you out or running a job. You know what? I'm cool with that. So there she is, Jacqueline Isham, the King Drifter. So sadly not El Grajo, which I'm sure a lot of people were expecting to see. However, I have no doubt he'll be in the box with the sword, if at all he exists. But we'll see that, I'm sure, as it comes out in a couple of weeks. Not, unfortunately, as somebody pointed out today, a non-unique King-level Pagliaccio, which we had some interesting ideas there as to what that might do. But yes, a very good King Drifter nonetheless. I find a lot of use for her in a lot of decks simply because of her cost. She's phenomenal for what she does. She's basically the Jake Smiley for shootouts. So if you compare Jake's influence to can take control of deeds but can't stop production, so he's not as good as having an actual 2-influence guy, Jacqueline is the same thing. She's a fantastic boon to shootouts on defense, but won't always be a stud. So she's very, very cool, very cheap for what she does, and will definitely see a lot of play. And I'm expecting her to see her in a lot of decks. And I'm pretty sure this pack is legal for Gen Con. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I live 3,500 miles away from Gen Con, and haven't really been paying attention to what's going to be there at the moment, because it's not actually happening for a while. But I'm going to pay more close attention to what's going on, especially with the new pack coming out. And I hope you guys